Good day, everybody. Today is Tuesday, September the 6th. I hope everybody had a good long weekend, and I hope it wasn't too smoky wherever you guys are at. Today I just want to take a quick moment to check in, see how you guys are doing. You've hopefully had a week now to go through Moodle, to get the textbook, take a look at it. And so now I'm just going to go into things in just a little bit more of a technical detail from the actual theory standpoint. As I mentioned in my video last week, I view accounting as basically a puzzle, because what you're going to do is throughout the course complete a series of practice questions, and then through those practice questions you're going to learn how to create accounting entries and build financial statements. Now the good news is these are skills that you will use for the rest of your life. Accounting, while it evolves, it doesn't really change too much. All right, we'll add new things to accounting on occasion, but the building blocks, the foundation, really have remained unchanged for the last couple hundred years. So you're in good shoes. As we go through the course here, you're going to use kind of a tried and true method. The textbook is by far the best textbook I've ever used. And so now I thought, let's take a look at the actual content here a little bit. So if we take a look at the course schedule, this week, all right, I'm hoping you're going to get started on chapter 1, and I'm hoping you'll start working through the different questions here. Now, as I've mentioned in the past, and I'll bring this up many times, you cannot do accounting by watching me. Accounting is like playing a game or playing a musical instrument. It's a skill. I could answer these questions and I would make it look super easy. Why? Because I've been playing this particular game for well over a decade. Plus, I've answered these questions before, so I already know the exact answers to them. So when I answer questions online or through these videos, always keep in mind, this is not the first time I've seen the question. In many cases, this isn't even the 10th time I've seen the question. All right, so as you go through this, I'm going to encourage you to make a lot of mistakes, Again, think about playing a game, all right, a board game, a card game, or something along those lines. The first 2 or 3 times you play the game, you're confused. If you play it with somebody else that knows the rules, they're doing all the this and that, and just making the game do everything it should do. But we're learning. So it takes a while for us to get there. And how do we learn? We make mistakes. So you're going to see a lot of questions. We have quick study questions. We have exercise questions. In the back, we have problems. Now, I generally reserve the problems for assignments, but you'll have already noticed, and I will highlight this quickly at the end of this video, you already have the solutions for all the quick study and exercise questions. But rather than just look at the solution, go through and see if you can solve it yourself. That's where you learn. Treat this like a Sudoku game or any other game, whether it be cards or board game, and just sit down, kind of relax, grab a coffee. I've always got my coffee on the go here. Grab a coffee and then go through and just have some fun with it. Set aside a half hour to an hour a day just to go through and work through these. And after you've done a question, especially once it gets a little bit more technical, and we're not going to get into a lot of technical items in this course, just the theory, just the introduction aspects. But once you get introduced to it, go back and do that question a couple of times. When I was studying accounting, whether it was the introductory, intermediate, or advanced, I would study by, basically when I got time to do an exam, I would study by finding the hardest question in that chapter and then understanding it, just going through and understand every single component. And I would write notes to myself. This makes sense because of this. Think of this like this. All right, basically go through and break down the question into all these different little sub-items. And then I would do that question 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Because that's the joy of accounting. It's repetition. All right, the introductory accounting information I'm going to give you, especially in chapter 2, you're going to use that for the rest of your life. And it's never going to change because these are the fundamental building blocks of accounting. So the joy of it is, once you learn it, all you're doing is reapplying the exact same information to different numbers, to different businesses, to different farms, to different scenarios. All right, it actually becomes very not technical, very repetitive. Accounting is very much a thou shalt industry. All right, so with that, I'm just going to kind of stop there. All right, again, I hope I'm not scaring anybody away. Again, calculators. The calculator I use is this one. Cost me $4.99, I think, at Staples. So we're not doing calculus. We're not doing advanced algebra. We're basically stating 16 plus 12, 25 minus 4. That's the type of math we're going to do in this course. All right, so it's not about the math, all right, and everything's open book, everything you can use your calculator for. So it's not about the math, it's just learning how to use the pieces. And again, how do we do that? Through repetition. So this week, I would like you guys to start systematically working through Chapter 1. Again, there's no rush to complete the course. We have plenty of time to do this. So go through, start working on the questions. If you have any problems or if there's any issues, fire me off a quick email, put a question in the discussion board, and I'll happily answer any questions you guys might have. All right, with that, the only other thing I'm going to state is that I did come across, hopefully this doesn't close everything, perfect. All right, I did come across a nice article here today, Get Your Farm Finances on Track to Reduce Stress. So this was produced by the Grain News or released by the Grain News earlier today. So I'm going to include this in the discussion board where I'm going to post the video here. All right, so it's a good read. Really, it's just an understanding of why we use the information that we're building. So I hope you get some use out of that. All right, happy studying, and I will talk to you guys soon.